a package was delivered to me from Bifrost Connect for a small weekend project. So in my projects of testing remote access solutions, we have here the TESmart 16-port KVM Switch. And as you can see on the front, you have the option to do a manual control of it. But on the back, you will see we also have a serial connection. And that's what we're going to play with today. We are going to test the remote control of the device. But let's start with a quick unbox, so we have an idea what's in the box itself. So of course we have the device, and then we have the cables, and we have here full-size HDMI cables. And each of those cables are 1.5 meters or 5 feet. The total amount are 8 of them. So we just put them up here. Then of course we can control the device locally. And here we have the remote control, we have the user manual, we have some brackets to my rack mounted, and of course we have the adapter so we can connect it to the serial port and a power supply. Next we'll just add the disclaimer here so you're sure that you know that this is performed in a lab environment. Please have a look below the video for any updates. We will use 2 different tools for the switching of the serial and the LAN port access. So we're using the application from TESmart, but we're also using a Windows 10 application called Serial Debug Assistant that can send hex commands. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jan Mortensen. Let's go through the setup. So we have the KVM switch itself. We have a monitor connected directly to the KVM switch. We have a serial connection, we have a LAN connection, and we have a couple of clients that will connect to the system. Again, the whole idea is here to show how we can remotely control the device. So we will have a recorder also of the screen. That will be delayed a little bit because it's going through a couple of devices. Okay, next we're going to switch to my desktop. On my desktop you will see I've mixed a couple of screens. So we have the camera set up. So we are showing everything remotely here, and then we have my remote management PC itself, and the last picture here is what is coming from the KVM directly, and it goes through the monitor into my hardware recorder. So sometimes you will see here when I'm doing the first switch in a second, there's a small delay. That has to do with how the hardware recorder has to detect a signal if I switch. Now we're connected to one of my clients, and here again we are running the utility, and I'm going to show you that I can from the utility also switch to a different port. So we are currently only connecting to port 14, 15 and 16. That's the reason why you are seeing me switch between those. And the desktop has been updated with the name so you can see each time that I'm switching. And currently I'm going between the remote desktop I have with the serial hex commands and the utility that is connecting over the serial port. So you're seeing here how I'm switching with the 2 different utilities again and again. So let's go back to 14. That means that my desktop here is sending a hex command, and at the second we now go into the window in the right corner here, you will see I have the IP address. So here we are using the LAN connection to do the switch itself. So this was just to show the 2 different, let's say, ways of using the serial port or using the application with the IP access to each of those. You also have the option of using hotkeys to do the switching between each of the ports, or you can use the remote control to do the switching if you're close to the device. Again here I'll just switch one more time with the hex commands, and then I will show you a couple of times how to switch directly on the front of the device. So just to show you that if you're next to the device itself, you can of course use the keys on the device itself to do the switching. Okay, so we'll jump back to my remote machine here, and one more time just show how this hex command, as you can see here, when they are sent, will do the switch itself. But the device has also other options that you can control with hex commands or with the utility. So example of that is enable or disabling the sound. So here on the 16 we'll now zoom in so you can see and hear the sound. So I'll just be quiet for a second here. And then of course I can mute that again, so we don't have that sound every time. Another feature is that I can change if a PC is powered on, you can change the sound if I should switch to that port. And I can also control the time that the LED display is on after I change. So I can change that from 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or it should be on forever. So in my case here, just to show, yeah, it was already on. So we'll just keep that. But let's try to change it now with the hex command here to first the 30 seconds. But again, we don't want to wait for that. So we press the 10 seconds. Now we have to wait 10 seconds. And we're just putting on the wait signal here, and I will just have to talk a little bit, and then after the 10 seconds you will see it goes off, and then again I can send the same hex command to never have it off, and at the second I do that, it's back on. Okay, so let's switch back to the remote desktop here and go to my PC number 14 again, and we will try to shut that down. So we want to see this where if I power on a machine, that the KVM by itself switch to that port. So that means that if you are on a different port and then you power on that PC itself, it will come back to that. So we switch to 16 here, so we are away from the port 14. And then in a second here, I will press the button on the PC itself, so you will see that I'm powering on the device here in a second. But we need to be sure that it's set to this as on, so we just press that first, and then we go back to my PC and we power that on. So I just click that, and you can see instantly it switched to that. Again, here you will see that the boot is coming up on the camera screen before it comes on my recorded screen of the device itself. Again, here at the second the machine is back online, we will then just quickly log into the client, and we will then repeat the same test one more time. But then this time we're going to switch, so it's not going to do the, you can say, automatically switch to the port that is coming back online. So again, here now we have shut down my PC and we switch to one of the other machines just to see that we are on that one. And again, remember here I'm using the hex commands to send that. So we now change to 16 again, because that's where we have the utility. And you will now see that I set this auto input detect here to off. So again, remember that means that if a PC switch back online, I will not switch to that port. So let's power on again. And as you can see, nothing changed. So that means we stayed on port 16, even if we powered on the 14 machine again. So in the background, as you cannot see, the PC is coming back. So we will switch to the 14, and you will see that the PC is again ready for the login. So one more time here, we will have to log in again, and just to be sure that it was not, you can say, by lock here. So we're going to do a shutdown one more time, and down it goes. It's now off, and we will switch back to PC number 16, or connected to port 16. And again, we will be able to modify that it should come on if there's a change. So again, we enable this one more time, press the button. Again, remember here, that's over the IP address. So we have those two options that we are switching between the whole time. So let me power it on again, and instantly you can see it switched to port 14. So this can be a benefit if you also have remote power on of your devices, that you know that the last device that you power on, it will switch to that by itself. Again, we will log in one more time here, and then it's time to start to shut down everything. So I will thank you for the time. I hope this gave you a little bit idea about how you can remote control the TESmart switch here. If you're interested to learn and see more, then please subscribe, and I will be back with more videos about how to make this into a cloud-based remote device. So I will see you in the next video. So again, thanks for your time. Bye for now.